to today's edition of All That and More with Mary Jones, lifestyle expert, radio host. And we're talking about the same thing that Erica was just talking about.
Perfect lead-in.
Yes.
Goodness.
Couldn't find a better one. People like to be around other people.
They do. We need to be around other people. And as they cited in that study, and UCLA has found recently that, you know, if we have women who have close friends, this is true for men as well, but friendships between men and women are a little different.
Okay.
So I'm going to just focus on women right now. But women who have close friends tend to live longer.
Wow.
We have fewer health problems. And so much so, as they indicated, not having close friends is as detrimental to our health as smoking and carrying extra weight. And that's kind of new. We didn't know that.
Can you explain why that is? I feel good when I'm around other people, and Erica found in the study that endorphins are released. Is that the reason?
Exactly.
We just mechanically feel better?
Well, we do. I think mechanically we feel better because we are social beings. For decades and decades and a whole lot longer than that, we have been social beings. One of the things that research is also finding, and I know this is true from my conversations with women on the show and off the show, when we're feeling stressed, when we're feeling busy, we tend to do the absolute worst thing, and that is to put our friendships on the back burner. We think we don't have time for them. We should be doing just the opposite. Just the opposite.
So we're going to stay with this feeling of comfortableness and love and friendship and all that, but we're going to switch the topic just a little bit. This probably seems like it's coming out of nowhere actually, but there is something interesting going on there. We know lots, we're talking about hair dyeing now.
Yes,
we know lots of men and women dye their hair, but we found that men feel less comfortable admitting it than women.
Exactly. And isn't that something? This was just something that came to me last week. I was thinking about it and I said to myself, you know, I think this is true. I'm going to validate it on my show, which I did last week. So everyone called in. The question was, do you agree that men, even in the year 2010, don't feel as comfortable admitting, going public, even within their network, that they color their hair? And everyone agreed. Everyone agreed. Now, the reasons were not quite as apparent. This is my guess. This is not research.
I want to hear this.
It's not cast in stone or proven anywhere. My guess is the reason, what do you think about this? That for women, it is much more acceptable and even expected to be vain. And so people have no problem seeing women, or women have no problem admitting that they color their hair at all. I think men still struggle with those acts of perceived vanity.
I think
that's a shame. You know, I think that's a shame that they feel that's not easy keeping things in. It's easier to be open about it. So I'm encouraging men, fess up.
Now, I have a question for you. Do you think men have a harder time admitting that they dye their gray hair, or that they go from black to brown, brown to red? Because women go blonde all the time, and they have no problem admitting it. They let the roots show, and everybody knows.
And every month we can be a different color if we want to, and many of us are. I think both is true. I think men have a hard time. I know from what I talked on the show, to men and women, they have a hard time admitting that they've colored their gray. They also don't want people knowing that they're changing the hair color. They want to be natural, and I think it's not considered macho to have that degree of vanity. And I think that's a shame, by the way.
Now, Mary, we have to talk about this. There are so many metrosexuals out there these days that this trend must start changing eventually.
What do you think? So I think it's going to. I think it's going to, but it hasn't yet. And I mean, I feel bad for the guys that do that and don't, for whatever the reason, regardless of the reason, they don't feel comfortable admitting it. I think that's a shame.
I think you're going to have to start exploring all the other things that men are less comfortable admitting that women are more comfortable admitting. God knows what men are doing out there that we don't know about.
But we're going to get to the bottom of this.
I like that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
We'll see you next week.
Look forward to it.
You can find more from Mary if you visit our website, NBCConnecticut.com. Just search All That.